Hello my lovelies, here we are in Pula, and you know who I have? I have here amazing woman who inspiring everyone. When she goes on the stages, everyone's like "Ah!" And now we have this beauty with us. Look at this beauty. And who is that?
So I am Jade Green and I am from the amazing Australia.
What is so amazing about Australia?
Everything's fucking amazing about Australia. Are you kidding me? So
beaches, yeah.
I travel all around the world, and that's pretty much all I've done for the last 2 years. And every time I go home, I just am so grateful about how amazing our country is. Like, we got white sand beaches and beautiful crystal clear blue water, and it's clean and it's easy and the people are nice, and it's just it's heaven. But you don't appreciate it until you go out and see other things. You take it for granted.
Yeah, this is it, right? Like this kind of juicy life, being in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Being there, and then you bring it out of your country. So tell me more like about, because I see like, you know, you're traveling around the world, you are having great launches, running your business, being like amazing, feminine, badass, right? How do you make it?
How do I make it? Well, look, to be honest, it's a struggle sometimes. It's a real fucking struggle.
Tell me more about the struggle. What is like the most struggle?
So it was really interesting. Yesterday I was in Rich Levin's session, and he was like, we see these epic lives, these extraordinary lives, and we're like, oh, I can never have that extraordinary life that someone like Rich lives. And he's like, but in real honesty, sometimes it's hard work, like carrying all the kids all over the place, and your kids having a meltdown, and you still got to work and all of that. And it made me realize, like, I am living that extraordinary life, but sometimes we forget, and because it's a grind, like, I'm on calls at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm on calls at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm trying to squeeze this in, and sometimes it can slip away from you. So when you say how did I do it, it was a really hard decision 2.5 years ago to close my extremely successful headhunting and recruitment firm, close the doors of my 100 square meter office on the middle of Pitt Street in Sydney, which is like the financial district, like the place to have the office, and abandon the staff and the investors and the husband, and sell all of my stuff.
The ex-husband?
The ex-husband. The ex-husband.
The ex-husband. Big distinction.
Big distinction. Because I realized after reading Conversations with God that life is a choice, it is what I choose, and life isn't just for grinding, it's for living.
Yeah.
And
living.
And living wasn't sitting under fluorescent lights in a pinstripe suit, making my team make 100 cold calls a day and chasing these accolades and these awards. Like, living is, can you hear the wind blow? Like, I'm outside during the day, not stuck in my office in Sydney, going surfing, going and seeing people and experiencing life and things like that. So it was a super soul destroying at the time. Like, I mean, think proper meltdown. You've met Andrew, right? My friend Andrew.
Yeah.
Right. So Andrew comes in. Yes. I was on the phone doing this morning. So Andrew walks in. We're supposed to be going to the races for his birthday.
Yeah.
In November 2 years ago. Maybe 3 years ago. And he walks in and he's like, why aren't you ready? And I'm literally sitting on the floor with snot pouring out of my nose, I decided to sit in the sun because I thought that might cheer me up, and I'm like having a proper meltdown. I can't go to the races because all this stuff's this turmoil of whether I keep my business and keep pushing and keep doing the investor stuff and keep going when it's soul destroying, or do I, as my dad says, stop flogging the dead horse and trying to fit the square peg in a round hole, and like, what am I going to do? And
could you say that for the international speaking audience?
So
about the horse and the pig, I didn't get that.
Stop flogging the dead horse. So, you know, like a jockey is like riding.
Yeah.
Well, hitting it and it's already dead. Not gonna help. And trying to,
are you guys doing it?
Yeah. And trying to fit a square peg into a round hole is not fitting.
Square peg into the round.
Yeah, like this, not going in the hole, right? No. Right? Because I was trying to make my recruitment company, my headhunting firm, a culture consulting, because my mission was to be the world's largest enabler of humans that are happy at work, and trying to make a recruitment company serve that purpose. Not fucking working. Not. And so
what did you do? Like, how did you get out of this?
In the end, I read The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. I I really had to start asking myself the questions. I started journaling, I started doing 5 a.m. club, and I started just really thinking. And I revisited a book that my mentor, Jack DeLosa, had told me to read, which was What I Know For Sure by Oprah Winfrey. And so every morning I started writing down, what do I know for sure? What I knew for sure was going surfing made me happy. What I knew for sure was sunrises made me happy. What I knew for sure was that classrooms, like Mind Valley rooms, training rooms, workshops, was my happy place. Like that's where I'm most in flow, most fucking joyful, besides being in the ocean.
You're shining, yeah.
And the other thing I knew for sure was I brought my 2 sisters up, and I felt like I was failing my family because I was always at work and I was always away. I'm going to come back to that point in a minute because it's made my decision today. And all of these things were not getting done. Like I hadn't surfed. I'd surfed like 10 times in 17 years because I was too busy living in the city and doing these things. I'd started playing football to get my aggression out and feed my masculine, and I was doing all of these things which were none of the things that I knew for sure made me happy. And so I had to make the big decision, and I started self-sabotaging. So to be honest, one of the things I did was start sabotaging and making my life harder. And then it was just one day, just Nicole Gibson talks about her bungee jump moment, the jumping off the edge. I just had to make the fucking choice, and I spoke to my investors and mentor, and I was telling him where I was at, and he's just like, it's killing you, don't keep it for us. And so from that moment then I went, okay, what's my next step? I don't know. And that's when I decided I was going to come to Mind Valley U in Barcelona to see Neil Donald Walsh.
Oh, wow.
Purely to see Neil Donald Walsh. And that's what started the journey.
Beautiful. So right now, like, you know, I see here, like, especially here around the Mind Valley, a lot of people who actually made the same step. They're like floating around in space, they're trying to find the things, they're looking here, looking there. What would be the best recommendation for those people to take a next step and put it into action? Like how to move from this like floating in space after taking decision and continue moving forward.
Yeah, amazing. So this is why I'm so glad that we're doing this today and not yesterday. We cancelled yesterday. Something was not feeling right for me, and I needed to wait. And so what I just talked about this morning with Andrew and Martine is I've set a goal to speak again at Mind Valley U next year. And I've been thinking about, I kept thinking, what have I got to offer? I normally talk about LinkedIn, I normally talk about social media, I can talk about recruitment, I present the BE, but there's nothing that's me, really.
Nothing that is like your heart.
That's me, right?
You're passionate
and my business is Life Engineered, and I stopped pushing the Life Engineered brand and put it down as a product and started working with Business Engineered as my product because I wasn't living congruently in my actions of what Life Engineered was. And so I made the choice that my goal for next year is to have my keynote, my presentation about exactly this. How do you stop floating around and engineer your life to live the life aligned with your soul's true purpose and what your soul has come here to experience in this lifetime, on this timeline, in this meat suit? And how do you fuck the rules and the comparison, bullshit rules, the bullshit rules of society that we take on, and the comparison piece? Because I'm a super A-type, highly driven, fucking high performance person, and I judge myself so heavily on what success should be, and if I should be like this, like I should build a Mind Valley because I could. I should be at this level, like rich as a coach because I could. And I judge myself for not doing it. So if I go surfing, even though I teach everyone that life is for living and not just for grinding, I'm in the surf going, oh fuck, I could be making another funnel, I should be doing this, I should be doing that.
So how actually you deal with those emotions of self-judgment and...
This is going to be my dissertation over the next year, right? I'm going to analyze and record it and how am I dealing with it and what am I doing? And usually I call on people like Andrew that call me on my shit, who give me a slap. It's about journaling more. I used to be scared because public writing is my biggest fear, and that even is writing in my own personal journal because putting it out on paper was like vomit. And I've started journaling lately. I go to the sunrise, I sit at the beach, and I journal, and I'm like, what do I know for sure? What's coming up? And I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I'm the imposter. I'm an observer. Even in these situations, I feel like I'm the observer on the outside of the circle, and I'm not actually connected because I'm so up in my head. How am I dealing with that? What do I need to do to snap me back? So I'm going to document all of those processes and go back to the things I used to do. And right now I've been pulled into being flattered by people asking me to come on board with their projects. Someone asking me to be their brand ambassador. Someone asking me if I can be their representative. And I've said yes to everything because I had no confidence in who I was and what I had to offer and my own stuff. So what I really think I have to offer is something you said to me before about being authentic. I can be brutally authentic and unapologetic and it gives other people the permission to do the same. So when we did the book launch, I actually got spoken to because
Which book?
Oh, Ignite Your Life for Women.
Okay.
And when I wrote the book, the publisher wanted to take all of my swear words out of my chapter because I said fuck and they're like no, and I said well you can pull the fucking story because if it's not going in with my words, it's not going in at all. And then every time I spoke, I say fuck, and then all these women were like, you give me permission to do it, and one of the ladies was like, fuck is every second word in my head, but I never say it because I get judged and this is in America, and like she's like, thank you for releasing me.
Yeah, fuck is the most beautiful word.
Yeah,
we do our mind fucks every day, and very often what we're looking for is just a good fuck.
Always. But what scared this person was once I gave them permission to be themselves and say the words they wanted to say, they all started saying it. And she's like, and you've corrupted all of the people. And I'm like, just let them fucking be what they want to be. So I think
this is what we love about you. Yeah.
I think that my gift is that I do allow people to be themselves and be raw. I'm not afraid to share my vulnerabilities. Although sometimes I hide my insecurities.
How do you do
always.
That? How do you do that?
How do I do what?
Hide your insecurities.
How do I hide my insecurities?
Yeah.
Sometimes I shy away, or I'll look busy.
You hide like behind the phone.
Phone, meeting, calls, busy, being fucking busy. I can't go socialize. I have work
things
to do.
Yeah, best excuse. Yeah.
Badge of honor is busy for me, and that's one of the things I journaled on is how do I let go of. So I used to use sleep deprivation used to be my badge of honor when I had my recruitment firm, and I just swapped it out for busy as a badge of honor. And like that was my self-worth was tied to I could fucking outgrind, outwork, outdo everybody. And I wasn't actually going forward because I had taken on so many things. I was so busy doing so many things weren't getting done.
Yeah.
And so
too little done.
So I can hide my insecurity by being busy. So I can be in the room, I'm sorry, I've got to run, can't stay and talk.
Yeah.
In those things, but then in the moments when I'm on stage and things, I can be vulnerable and raw, and I don't mind sharing where I've fucked up or where I've come from, or
you're real,
those things. So it's a bit of a balance.
Biggest fuck up?
My biggest fuck up. Ooh. Not backing down to Vishen on a group call when I knew he was triggered and triggering me, and not playing the smarter game and not pushing, not triggering, and actually having the conversation offline. I just kept, because I'm quite bullish, I do go into bat for people, and if I believe in something, I'm just like, I'd step into the alpha warrior, and what the smarter thing would have been to do is to just listen to what he had to say, take down my notes and approach it offline, and not force him into a corner in front of everybody. That was a really big fuck up for me. Yeah.
Okay.
And
then how did you get out of this situation?
So I sucked eggs, and
what does it mean?
Suck it, like do something you don't want to do.
So what did you do?
I sent him a voicemail the next day apologizing that I triggered him and that I was allowed to be triggered and that I didn't back down and that I should have been more considerate, and just let him know that I hope that he realized that I was coming from a place of deep care and passion for the project that we were working on, and how much I just absolutely love it, and explaining that because I've come from bringing up my sisters and having to be the warrior, that I allowed the gossip and the conversation of the other people to fuel me into being the one on the front line. So I just owned it, and I said sorry and copped it.
Good. So it all worked out the moment you actually self-realized what was happening, and when you've been real and actually brought this thing. So what is the key of your success? By, because you're so fiery and you have make so many things, you're so passionate about things. How do you actually pull all this passionate into one thing that is really shows a success?
And this is the thing. I don't feel like I'm successful right now. Everybody thinks I am because I'm doing all the fucking things, aren't I? I'm on the stages, I'm on the thing, I've got the book, I've got the thing, I've got all the fucking things. But the problem is I haven't grabbed one arrow. So I talk about, and this is something I coach on, whenever we coach, is the thing you need to learn, right? Yeah. So I coach, if you're trying to fire 5 arrows, nothing's going to hit the target. Yeah. Grab one arrow. And so my lesson today is I need to drop the other arrows and I need to focus on the one arrow.
So what would be your one arrow?
My one arrow is my life engineered business, going back to my business and my coaching. It's working with one specific type of client, being able to be all of the things that I do to the one client. So originally I was thinking, I have to either pick my personal branding, visible leadership teaching, my LinkedIn stuff, or my business accelerator, or my life coaching, or my Mind Valley training, or my, all of the things. But then what Vern Harnish actually said to me is, no, you can be all of those things just to the one person. Because there is other people like me.
Like all services, but for one audience.
One audience. Yeah. And I don't go super deep on everything. Like I am not the expert on Facebook advertising, but I can tell you if you need to do the Facebook advertising, and I can hook you up with someone who is. Yeah. And so I can be the gamut to help someone go from start up to scale up, someone that is who has an amazing message, like Nicole Gibson 2 years ago. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Where she's got this unbelievable message, right? But she just needs someone to help her get to launch, to get to market, to
she got someone,
so she's
super successful. Yeah,
she's amazing. She got
team on board. Yeah, that was beautiful.
So where she was 2 years ago is my ideal. So there's thought leadership, there's a message, there's a purpose, and I can show them how to generate income for impact, because you can't pour from an empty cup.
No.
Right.
No,
so I can help people get to their cash flow, to their income, build their personal brand, so they're attracting profitable clients, partners, and opportunities for PR. So that they can have more of an impact. So that's my one arrow.
Awesome. So how do you use your intuition for your business or how would you plan to use your intuition for this one arrow that you want to shoot?
I need to start listening to my intuition and not letting my logical mind decide. So they say in the first 3 seconds your soul is answering, and everything after that is your mind deciding. And I've had a couple of things recently. Like I said, my ego took over, and I was so flattered to be invited to do these things, so flattered, or seeing the opportunity, like the FOMO of what could be done. But when my gut is saying, just do you, babe, and saying, actually what you really want is to spend more time with your family and to go surfing and to live, but I do the opposite thing. So for me, it's about now listening to what my soul is really telling me. And I don't believe that in this particular timeline that my soul is here to build the giant empire, whereas I used to fight that before. And from looking at Journey of Souls and thinking about my past life regressions and things, I know I've been that warrior. I've been the male warrior. I've been the Viking. I've been the one that goes and conquers and the this.
You have a lot of this energy still, it's still there.
It's still definitely there.
Yeah,
right?
But it's only the question, how do you use it?
How do I use it? And redirect it. Yeah. And now I realize that what my purpose in this particular lifetime is to live a little bit more, learn a little bit more messages, but just to help the chosen few to do. So my conversation
to conquer the empire.
To conquer the empire. to help Nicole's reach the critical mass of touching 4% of the Earth's population, so that we can have the Love Out Loud movement. Like I can help that, and this comes right back to when I did my conversation with God at Neil Donald Walsh's thing, and he said, and the thing that came back was, I need to shine the light on me so I can shine the light on others, so that is my ripple effect. Yeah. And so it's not about me creating the Mind Valley, it's about me helping the Nicoles create their movements.
Wow. So how in all of those things, how do you bring joy and passion? Because you have this passion everywhere, right? How do you bring these funny moments? How do you bring this sweet, loving, giggly?
I think that's when I am truly being myself, and when I'm not overthinking things or not doing things that I know that are pushing against the grain or when I'm in my logical mind. When I tap into just who I am at a soul level, or I'm totally in flow, when I'm doing the stuff that I'm in flow, that's when you get the cheeky, funny, quirky weirdo. And that's where my joy is. Yeah, so it's me having the strength and telling the ego to fuck off. And not putting myself into the situations that I should do because I could do, and staying in the things that put me in flow. And when I'm in flow, I'm like, that's me just all the time.
So like, you know, for many of my clients, actually, like, I do engineer joy into their lives and businesses. How do you do that?
Yeah, so the way I do that is mainly through the knowing what I know for sure, and then scheduling that into your habits to form a habit. So whether that's like, I use...
Give me an example.
Color blocking calendar. So doing an ideal week. So I do a workshop on creating your ideal week, and I run this workshop on myself regularly. And it's about writing down every single thing that I need to do during the week, everything I want to do, and everything that would make my soul be on fire. And then I color code them. So I have things for administration. I usually in energies. So because I do a lot of work with Roger James Hamilton, it's about, and
Who's that?
He's spoken at A-Fest a couple of times. He's the founder of Wealth Dynamics, Talent Dynamics, Entrepreneur Resorts, Entrepreneurs Institute, and they have a really great test on finding flow, which is about your natural genius. Okay, but also about the energies. So there's 5 core energies. So you've got your metal-based energy, your wood-based energy. So metal is your steel, your detail, your admin, your finances, precision. You've got your wood, which is your dynamo, your creation, your thinking. You've got your blaze or fire, which is your people, and like that's your connection piece. Then you've got your earth or tempo, which is like timing and grounding and getting yourself down. And then obviously your spirit, the water. And so looking at all of those elements and how all of those tasks that you've written down, all the things you want to do, where do they fit within those energies, and assigning a color. So steel and metal is like yellow, dynamo is green for the creation, blaze is clearly red, right? Can you guess what energy I am? Tempo is more earthy, like your yellows and mustards and oranges, and then spirit is your blues, your water. So then assigning all of those and then color coding my calendar in accordance to that. And then I put in another color. I have other colors for like my family time or my me time. I've got a color for travel time. And then blocking it all out and then holding myself accountable to it until I build the habits. So blocking out when I'm back home, my morning is my morning. So from half an hour before sunrise until 2 hours after is me time. And unless something's super urgent, nothing can come in there, because I want to get to the beach, I want to do my journal, I want to watch the sunrise, I do my thinking, and I go for a surf.
So what time do you go to sleep? 9?
Well, not so good at the sleeping thing. Sleeping thing's not really my thing. I do put that in my calendar. I get better. I am not great at sleeping.
How many hours do you sleep per day?
Normally, well, I've got better. So when I was running my company before, I used to average 2 to 3 hours. Now I'm 4 to 5 hours. But my goal is 6.5, 7. So I try to block my calendar to allow for that. I can, if I can. While I'm here, I can't, because my team's waking up and everything. So I'm on calls at 5 o'clock in the morning, which is the end of the day, or 1 o'clock in the morning, which is the start of the day. And yeah, so that doesn't allow for a great deal of sleeping. But I'm desperately trying. It's something I'm conscious of. So
I've been to 5 a.m. club, like
my 5 a.m. club.
I know, like 9 p.m. You're like no more meetings.
No, I tend to power through, and I do. I do have a unique ability to run at that level most of the time, and I'm super high energy. But I also know that it's not great for my brain, and I would be even better if I didn't do that. So. But it's about building the habit.
I'm actually super curious. Like, could you like share with our audience like a screenshot of your calendar? How does that really look like? Or show it in front? Because
let me see.
Do you have it somewhere? Oh my God! So many colors, guys! Look at that! Look at that!
This one's got white space in it though. That's tomorrow. That's today.
This is awesome.
There's another one.
What is this long green thing?
Oh, photo shoot.
Oh.
It's a me time.
But
that didn't happen.
So how do you deal like with this like parallel things that goes in parallel? Do you like double or triple yourself?
It might be my secondary calendar or one of my staff. Like, because I've got 3 email addresses and calendars. Just trying to show one where is an ideal.
Sure is like the ideal day.
I haven't had one of those.
You never have.
That one's not great. That one's out of balance. It's got too many colors and too much of one color in that one.
Yeah. No, this is freaking awesome. So guys, this is actually like great ideas actually if you are a solopreneur, how to actually structure your day so that all the elements of your business and structures.
Yeah, this is not that's a bad
things
day.
To do.
Way too much of one color. Because the purple is actual live video calls or meetings, and the light purple is the prepping for them, which means it's all the same sort of task.
So it's actually like you only working for your goals. Okay.
Yeah. So I need to get back, and that's one of the things is I haven't been so disciplined lately on my running my calendar, and that's why I feel a little bit out of alignment. And today's decision was to get back to
get back to the structure.
Yeah, getting back.
Enough of the calendar stuff.
Get away from the calendar.
We got this awesome concept. Tell me about your yummy moments.
My yummy moments. Dancing like no one's watching. Like the Fortress party last week. Finding a box behind DJ Sammy, claiming it as my own because the dance floor was too busy, so I can just dance like nothing else. Me and Amarit like rocking out. So dancing like no one's watching, doing backflips off the side of the boat.
Yeah, I saw that. That was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you do those backflips?
I don't know. Just stand there and do it.
Yeah.
I as a kid, I used to be able to do backflips on the ground. And just before I came away though, so I try to do fun, like crazy things as much as I can. So whenever I'm back in Australia, I try to do stuff with my nephews. So just before I came away, I had 2 weekends in Australia between the last trip. And so one weekend was my brother's girlfriend's birthday, so we went ice skating. And so I looked like Bambi on ice for the first 5 minutes, and then I'm like skating around on one foot, like with my arms out and doing spins, and then the limbo. And then the next weekend we took my nephews trampolining. And so
I love trampolines. It's so much fun.
So then when I was trampolining, I saw like fancy people doing backflips and that, and I'm like, I can do this. And it took a little bit of courage. It took a lot of courage, and it took me about half an hour to warm up. But then I started doing backflips, which are way easier than front flips. So when it came to the boat, I was like, but I always do backflips off boats.
No,
so
that looked so great.
And cliff jumping, surfing is my juicy moments. Special time with the man, juicy moments. Live music, I love. Skateboarding with my nephew. I bought myself a skateboard for Christmas. What you should do when you turn 40 is learn how to skateboard, ice skate, and trampoline. Okay? Yeah, they're the things to do.
With your nephews.
Yeah. And so I skateboard with my nephew, and he's 2, and when I started teaching him, he was less than 2, and it's just like the funnest thing.
Yeah.
So they're the juicy moments, and sunrise and sunset.
So actually, if you could like summarize, from everything what we spoke today, what is a juicy life for you?
So a juicy life to me is not the life I've been living for the last 6 months. Although everybody else sees it as the juicy life. But I'm committed. You saw my calendar. Like their calls, I'm constricted. I'm doing things out of flow because I could, or like I have the ability, but it's not in my flow. Like I don't even have my own website, and I helped build 3 websites for somebody else in the last 3 months. Like,
so what would be your ideal juicy life?
So the ideal juicy life.
You like close your eyes and you would just express what is there for you as a perfect, awesome, juicy life.
My
perfect juicy life.
My perfect juicy life is.
What is the feeling it has?
It's a feeling of joy. It's a feeling of connectedness. It's a feeling of serving. It's a feeling of just being. Not trying to prove, not trying to drive, not trying to strive. It's just being. So it'll be waking up in a beautiful place on the water, somewhere where there's surf, and in the arms of a lover, having amazing sex in the morning, getting up, going and watching sunrise.
4:30 a.m.
4:30 in the morning. Yeah, of course.
Before 5 a.m.
Before 5 a.m.
Is he doing actually the same?
Yes.
The same club? Yeah,
yeah. Same club.
Yeah.
Then going and watching sunrise, journaling, having a coffee, going for a surf, coming out, and then coaching people that I know have a really powerful message and helping them to have an impact on the... Oh God, I'm going to tear up.
Oh yes, the juicy moment is coming. Be there, breathe.
Helping them to share their message, helping them to shine their genius, I fucking love helping people go through the process and have the ahas and not have to have the struggle that I've had, and not doing things the hard way, like just showing them the path to least resistance and getting them there and seeing them go forward. And then it's about having time in the afternoon either to surf or do yoga or go skateboarding with my nephews, spend time with my family and see sunset. So do something near the water or a rainforest or something at sunset and experience that. And then having time to connect with friends after, like at dinner time, like having a really cool dinner with people, or
having tonight.
Yeah, like we're having tonight, or even going to a networking event and just connecting with other people, and being able to do that all over the world. Like sometimes be at home, and then sometimes be away and experiencing other places and connecting with beautiful people that I never would have met if I was stayed at home. That's my juicy life.
Sounds so yummy. Sounds so yummy. So like, you know, knowing all these like great, amazing visions that you have, which actually most important three tips would you tell to yourself to get there?
If it's not a fuck yes, it's a no.
So full body no.
Yeah. If it's
no.
not a fuck yes, it's a no. Okay, just no. Stop fucking hiding.
Yeah.
Be like, am I choosing this to hide?
Yeah.
And then stepping forward into the light, and practicing what I preach, which is that your epic life is your epic life, and it should never compare to what somebody else's version of an epic life is.
Yeah.
And that you should not beat yourself up if your version of an epic life is to have kids, raise the best little fucking humans, and be at home and do that, or it's to do that and take them on the road and live in a van, or it's to build Mind Valley. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like whatever is your epic life is your epic life, and to be totally congruently happy with that and have no judgment on yourself about not wanting to do other things.
Yeah, actually, like defining your how your epic life looks like before you start pursuing that.
Yeah, and it's your so I think one of my things about my keynote that I'm making is around a blog post that I said a few years ago, which was stop trying to be the best version of yourself. Just focus on being yourself.
Yeah.
Right? We're all too busy trying to be the fucking best version of ourselves, which isn't actually ourselves. We're comparing ourselves to 10,000 other fucking people on Instagram, on their podcasts, on the things that we see here. And we're like, oh, I should be like that. I should be like that. My best version of me would be that. No. Get clear on who you are. Focus on being yourself first. What your soul came here to experience in this fucking lifetime. And then look at how do you enhance that.
Yeah, like I totally resonate with you, because like what I see like very often, the people trying to be something when they're not, kind of and as well removing all this like the dark sides of them, and like bringing those like, you know, small negative things, like, you know, and not telling about that and kind of hiding that. Yeah. So, and does this like being yourself include those dark moments as well?
100%.
Like, how do you experience them?
One thing that most people don't know about me is I suffer quite a lot from anxiety, really bad anxiety, and sometimes depression. And I've had periods where I've had really dark depression. And I am able to bullish my way through my anxiety a lot of the time, like fucking suck it up, princess. But that's at the cost of sometimes I hide my emotion, or I don't feel, or I bury it, and I can be quite what's the word, apathetic. And I can stop myself from feeling, and I can be like in the moment of a panic attack and be like, that's not, no, fucking deal with it. But what that means is there's always this bubbling energy, and I think that radiates energy and forces people away from me, and it gives off. Some people say they think I'm not approachable, but then other people are like, "What are you talking about?" And I think it's when I come across
the warmest, the sweetest person.
But I think the people that see the unapproachable is when I'm squashing down that anxiety. My energy must be putting this barrier because I'm scared that any moment you might speak to me and I might break.
Yeah, I know. I know those moments, you know, like where you're super emotional, for example, coming after the stage and you're like so vulnerable and so like, and then people come and give you hugs, like I cry all the time, you know? Just like to release that, But I totally know this feeling.
So it's embracing those moments and letting yourself work through it and not judging yourself, letting yourself go through the process, or maybe and sharing it a little bit more with other people so they understand that you're not being like this. It's just like, I can't talk to you right now, I'm about to have a panic attack. I'll talk to you later, love you, bye.
That's awesome. Yeah. You know, actually, like, I had by the last conference, you know, I had another speaker friend, and she's like, "Oh, Irina, I just don't know how to deal when you're crying. Like, just don't do anything. It's my emotion. You don't have to do anything.
This is not about you.
It's not about you." Like, right? Yeah, and it's like, I really think, like, you know, it's important, you know, really to understand, like, you know, in our human nature, you know, we all, like, you know, we were like fucking amazing human beings, that we all have like all the sorts of stuff, you know, and it's actually for every one of us, you know, we are real. We experience joy, but we know what is anger and anxiety. We experience love, but we know what is hate. You know, it's like all the two sides of our human experience.
You have to have the polarity to really have the experience, right?
Yeah, because everyone, if everything is so absolute positive, plastic, shiny, and then where is the real yourself is coming?
And this goes back to what we talked about with Australia at the beginning. Like, I knew Australia was beautiful, but I didn't have as much deep gratitude for just how amazing it was until I went traveling. Absolutely. I traveled a bit. I've been to Africa, like I camped in the middle of the Serengeti, and that was a cool experience. But until I've actually really been out and looked at everywhere and gone, do you know what? This place is epic.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Why would I like to go somewhere else?
Yeah.
So to wrap up this conversation, what is your, like, the message from your heart that you would like to know the whole world? What do they need? Stop doing and start doing.
Yeah. Stop trying to be the best version of yourself. Start being just your fucking self. Stop judging yourself for what you know you really want. So, and embrace that. Like, if you know you just really want to not build the fucking company and to relax, fine. If you really want to build the company and all of your family's judging on you for working too hard, fine. Do what you know deep down you want to do, but spend the time to fucking get clear on that and recognize whether it is the rules, if it is outside input molding your decision, and if you're basing your decision on shoulds, or is it what your soul honestly truly wants.
So what the world needs the most of?
That. And
one word.
Love.
Okay, thank you. That was our amazing Jade Green, sharing her authenticity, sharing her power. When and where can we see more of you?
When and where? Well, I'm fucking everywhere, aren't I?
Okay, we're gonna post our link below.
LinkedIn is my platform that I have the most traction with, so that's where I drive everyone to. But I have the same social media handle across everything. So Jade Green AU, and you can get me on your social media of choice. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever. And I am going to be running around the world, so all the events are on there.
Okay, what is your success sound?
What is my success sound?
Yeah.
Ooh, I think it's this.
Do it again.